aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho. Pallo keskelle. Ja menossi aika, mutta odotukse kentällä teoiksi. Oltiin sitten kotona tai vieraan.
I'm wondering, Jules, if you're going to do any singing this week or if you're too glum.
No.
All right then, let's start with this. Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules. That's a bit optimistic. And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews, and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
But we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, Jules, what's in this week's show?
Well, review of yesterday, basically, and looking what's coming ahead. I haven't. Normally, I play the MC Kloppet music just to get me in the mood, but no, not today.
Okay. So we're recording this the morning after the day before, where SJK lost 1-4 at home to local rivals VPS Vaasa, and it still stings.
It's going to sting for a while, that one.
I think it is, yeah. But
until the next time we beat them, I think.
Yeah, which and there's potential, depending on how these playoffs go, that we could end up playing them again once more this year. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Yesterday at the game, we did a little bit of recording beforehand. And again, we managed to rope in someone to hold the camera. This time it was Glenn Murray, and Glenn brought here a microphone along as well. So we are inching up on the professionalism stakes. And listener, if and when this continues in 2025, Jules and I have just made a promise that we're going to invest in a little bit more tech. But
it'll still be the same rubbish.
Oh no, that one,
just better sound quality.
Better quality rubbish. Yeah, I mean there you go.
You can hear the rubbish better.
Let's go and have a listen to what we recorded before the game yesterday. Okay, so we're here outside the OmaSp Stadion again for the SJK VPS Vaasa game. Jules was just saying before we started, it's cold. How cold, Jules?
Beer's getting colder.
It's true. In the stadium, so it's an early kickoff, 14:30 kickoff.
Sun is shining on us, which is a very rare event because it's very rare that we have such an early kickoff.
Exactly. I've worn like 4 layers and cycled here and was feeling chilly, and then came into the ground, and where we're standing is in the sun, which is unusual.
And hopefully we're going to have a nice warm feeling when we stuff Vaasa.
But we're currently behind the home stand in the shade,
hopefully and it's the only time we're behind today.
And it is cold here. I'm waving this little microphone around because Glenn has offered to film for us today.
Cameraman, thank you, Glenn.
So if it sounds or looks better, then Glenn Murray is your man. And if it sounds awful, it's probably down to me and Jules.
So we're not much to say. I suppose score predictions.
Yeah, well, any thoughts on what Stevie had to say in the previous episode, and how that might play out today?
No, not really. Nothing much. It's like it's game time now, so let's just get it on, go out there, fight for it, play well. Yeah.
We'll see if the one or two of the players that were missing in the last game are back in the squad today. I'm thinking particularly Ville Tikkanen, Otto Kempäinen.
No.
So that probably means that the Tikkanen's back in one of the 3 defenders, and then you got Strap one side and Fatis the other.
No, Fatis on the bench.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've looked at the team sheet and I haven't.
Yeah, and by the time everyone sees this, we'll know the result as well. So,
and we'll know how unprepared I am. So what you put a bet on? What are you thinking for the score?
3-1.
Okay, that's frustrating because that was going to be my suggestion. So I will
3-1 as well.
No, I at home I think I said 2-1 because everyone else was getting the plum scores. But we're hoping that post match there's quite a few new fans in there. So
and a lot of old fans I can see here from back in the day when we were going to the 2nd division.
So Vaasa brings out all the old firm.
All the oldies are here. Yeah.
But we've got in the ground with us Sarah, Jim, Adam. They've all come down for the first or maybe second game in some cases, but it's we know that they're they're sort of following what we're doing as well. So it makes it worthwhile, and people seem to appreciate this. So maybe after the game we'll have a chat with one or two of them and one of the players as well.
Should be a good day. It's a nice early kick-off, 2:30, sun shining. We got hopefully easy opponents to play, and we'll put them away in the first half and concentrate on drinking beer and having a good day.
Well, happy hour just finished, Jules, so I think we should go back and enjoy what we bought earlier.
There's a Finnish phrase, don't lick before it drops. I'm being a bit too overconfident here, like saying that we're going to win and all that stuff, so maybe it'll come and bite me in the bum. So
that's quite revolting, Jules. On that bombshell, let's let's head into the ground and we'll come back after the game. Okay, so
Happy
that went well,
then,
Jules.
wasn't it? Life was better. We were optimistic.
How things can change in 90 minutes of football.
I mentioned the Finnish phrase to lick before you drop, so the English phrase is counting your chickens before they hatch. So it wasn't a free one, was it?
No, it certainly wasn't. It was a tough watch yesterday.
Shall we get into what Stevie said, because it's tough watch, and Yoni wrote something on another chat, the thing that I was thinking along the same lines.
Okay.
Do you want to get into what was said, because I don't think it was as bad as what Stevie said afterwards. Do you want to say what you said?
Well, yeah, I mean, this came from Stevie Grieve's post-match press conference, and what I always notice when you talk to somebody who is in football is they talk about the game in a completely different way to the way we see it. So, first of all, I mean, he said that it was absolute rubbish. We were absolutely terrible, totally unacceptable. These were the like phrases he said in his press conference, that the players didn't really string any passes together. He used a phrase which I thought was really, really interesting. This is where it goes to another level. He said, we weren't turning on our first touch at all, like we normally do. And like these kind of technical things that as a fan, it's really interesting to hear, because he doesn't talk about it in like a complicated technical way. He just says, this is what we're trying to do.
And also in the bar afterwards, he said things like, "Oh, we're passing to the wrong foot."
Exactly,
that
was the
so
other
they have to
thing as
take
well.
an extra touch.
Yeah,
but there was a man who obviously cares, speaking after getting beat 4-1 at home. Now, if you look back at the game, we were the better team. We were the better team right up until they scored. And if ever there is a game where the first goal decides it, I think this was that game, because we had chances to score. We put one of those away. I think we go on to win 2-3-0, and it's a totally different game. But because Vaasa scored first, then they were on it. They pushed hard, and we weren't on it. And I really think it comes down to whoever scores first. So I don't think we were that terrible the whole game, if you know what I mean. I think it's because Vaasa scored first. After that, that was that.
And it's a fair point, because we did have chances and half chances and good crosses into the box in the first half. It was all happening down the other end of the pitch, Jules, so you might not have seen it.
Yeah.
But this was happening, and when they
I didn't actually see their first goal, because I was busy bouncing.
Right. Okay. It's a common problem in our end of the ground. But
the only time we jumped, I think, in the whole game.
Yeah, and they scored just before half time, and I was like, that's annoying, but doesn't matter. We'll come at them in the second half. So
exactly, we're going to win 3-1, which we predicted.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking, there you go, Jules got another prediction right coming his way. But it just didn't go that way. I mean, again, much of the game was down the other end, or much of the action was down the other end of the pitch. But it's interesting. I read, Yoni, listener, was the KuPS fan who lives in Seinäjoki, who was on the show a few episodes ago, and he was at the game again yesterday with his kids, and because he made another comment that like the crowd was really good, there was really good noise from both ends, and his kids really liked that, because I also thought a little bit the team were off yesterday, making mistakes, not taking their chances, not finding each other with passes or whatever, all the same sort of things that Stevie said. But I thought the crowd was a bit off as well. It was weird. Like the stadium filled up really late. Like we were looking around, as the team was sort of lining up on the pitch for the photos beforehand, and it looked really empty.
Yeah.
And then people were just like in the posh seats, pouring down into their seats just as the game was starting, and around us it filled up as well. But I don't know, it didn't feel to me like the vibe really kicked in
I think
yesterday.
Klopp could have made a lot more noise than we did.
I felt so. Yeah. Sometimes some of the songs, it genuinely felt like there were not that many of us singing out of that big group. And again, there's a nice picture which I'll put up on the screen now for those watching that Yoni sent us of our section, and it looks packed, but it didn't have that same kind of energy. I don't know why. Earlier kickoff.
The phrase goes of one of our chants. Give it. We give it all on the pitch and on the turn stands, in the stands. But I think, well, at least the stand bit was lacking. I think that the players, you can't say that they didn't try, but it was that off day. So I think both on the pitch and in the stands, then a low grade.
Yeah, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch the highlights again, but during the game we sort of flicked onto Roto to get that instant replay of of a couple of the goals, and yeah, I mean, even those, we're not here to call people out. It doesn't matter who made the mistakes. It wasn't one person. It was different people for different goals, but they were caused by mistakes.
Yeah, Sarah, who was stood next to me watching her first game, she said, "How lucky are they?" VPS,
right?
You know, because we're dominating the goal and they get one chance and they get one chance and they score a goal. And so, you know, that I think that was it in the first half and the start of the second half, and then we just didn't get going. Once it was 2-0, we just couldn't get going.
Yeah, and that their first goal as well, like it was a shot from the right hand side of our box as we're defending it, and Kasper Pannanen came sliding in and got a little touch. I don't think it really made any difference if he got a touch or not. He was trying to defend it and it got a little nick and went in, and obviously he was gutted, but it didn't feel like that need to be the end of our chances, but it turns out it kind of pretty much was, unfortunately.
None of their goals were worldies, were they? They're all kind of scruffy things that people should have done better in.
Yeah, and as well as Stevie, we got a couple of people who gave us their feedback in the bar. A couple of the staff and the players. Tony Lehtinen walked past. And,
so we're not allowed to swear in English, are we? But
can we say it in Finnish and let people look it up?
One word summary, wasn't it, from Tony Lehtinen?
Yeah,
Paska.
He wasn't a good game. Let's put it that way.
Excrement. Let's say it's excrement.
It was excrement. Yeah. And then Falu and I walked past and
to apologise.
What did he say to you?
Sorry.
Oh, really? Like literally? Like,
yeah, sorry. That wasn't good enough, basically.
I don't. I mean, fair play to him. And then we tried to tap him up and get him on the podcast. So hopefully later this season we might get to speak to Falu. But I don't. I think there's this modern culture of players feeling like they have to apologise to the fans, and I think it's sport. Like some days you're good and some days you're bad, and if you're bad but you try, okay, that's sport. I don't think any of them owe us an apology. Especially if it's the one. Stevie said it yesterday. Like this is our worst performance this year. So if we have one stinker, then okay, let's put it behind us and move on to the next game. So we had a few people there yesterday, Jules, who were there for like the first time or the second time or whatever. And, hi to Adam. I've been in contact with Adam for almost a year now, but it's the first time we actually met. And then we didn't really get a chance to have much of a chat. So hopefully the atmosphere and the experience made him and his wife want to come back again. But I didn't get a chance to actually ask him what he thought of it all. But we had Jim there. Jim's one of the members of this WhatsApp group that we talk about, and he was over from Scotland because his son Lewis plays for the team, and he was really impressed with the facilities and everything.
Good to hear.
Down there. Yeah, like said, the ground itself, it's not just sort of a shell of a ground like some lower league teams in England or maybe some of the teams in Scotland have. That it's a ground, and then around it you have all the facilities that the team needs, and you've got the bars and all of that, and
I'm a
then
bit worried about Jim,
everything
actually.
nearby. Why?
Yeah, he bought a couple of rounds of drinks, and the prices have gone up even more to ridiculously extortion level. So
Yeah, that's true.
I hope he's got enough money to cover his mortgage payments and stuff like that. So
Yeah, his friends in the
if you see
WhatsApp
a
group
Scottish
couldn't
guy
believe that
hitchhiking
he got
back
a drink
to
in.
Helsinki, you know that he didn't have money for the train fare because the bar prices are so extortionate.
I'm sure Lewis can lend him a tenner to get the train back down to the airport.
Yeah.
But it's good to get that kind of fresh perspective, and I didn't really get a chance to chat with him after because there was a bigger group of us there. But I think the overall impression that being at the ground on match day, and it was a potentially a good one because big away following and local rivalry.
Yeah.
But it's good to. I think sometimes it's good to get that fresh perspective and not to be too jaded or just kind of complacent about what we've got there.
I had a good day yesterday. Just show me about the football.
Yes, exactly. And you're going back today for some more football.
Yeah,
What's happening
yeah.
today?
Well, Billy and I, we should mention Billy. We should actually start trolling Billy. As Mark said, great friend, really bad listener.
Yeah, he's the worst listener. Yeah.
Doesn't listen at all. So, yeah, we're going to go watch the women play, and it's a 1 o'clock kickoff, and they're top of the table, and they're playing Rops from Rovaniemi in I think it's the last league game, so it decides who goes. I think who goes up automatically, I believe, but I'm
Okay.
not sure. So that'll be interesting. Nice sunny day at 8 degrees.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. You can
Yeah.
probably see through the window behind, but it is chilly. You need a few layers on. There was also maybe we should have a little look forward to what's coming next weekend, the next home game, and also where the league standings are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things about the game. It hasn't really made too much difference for us, except it's taken the possibility of third place out. But it's kind of well, maybe do you want to read the actual the
Yeah,
league
I
table
can do
out?
it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
this is the Mestaruussarja, the
yeah.
Champions Series for the top 6 teams. So uh, Ilves have got 48 points from 25 games. KuPS are second with 47 from 24 games.
And they play Haka tonight or this
Yes.
afternoon, so they could go above Ilves if they win that game.
Yeah, so by the time you're listening to this, it's probably been decided, but
Yep.
Third is Hoyikor, 45 points from 25 games. There's only 3 points between those top 3 teams.
Yep.
And Ilves has beaten both of those sides in the last week. So they're really earning their place right at the top of the table.
Yeah. Good
Then
luck
there's
to
a bit
them.
of a gap, 5-point gap to Asikor in 4th on 40 points. And after yesterday's result, VPS Vaasa have climbed from 6th to 5th on 36 points. So still a bit of a gap between us. And in 6th place is Haka on 35 points.
So 4th place is kind of looking nailed on for us. It could even be possible that we don't get any more points and we still get 4th place, which I mean that's terrible for our momentum going into the European game. But it is possible, and although it's mathematically possible that we get 3rd place, it's very unrealistic. So it's looking like 4th place is ours, and hopefully we get some more points to concrete that.
The only challenge there, we did. That's right. The only challenge is that our last 2 games are at home to KuPS, who are second, and away to Ilves, who are top. So we got a couple of tough games, but then against the top 6, they should all be tough games.
Yeah, the last game as well is VPS and Haka, the same thing. So someone's going to get some points on that game as well.
Yes.
So it would be nice to be going into the last game with a 3-point cushion on those 2.
Yeah, that's true. So we have to beat. Well, let's beat KuPS on Saturday, and then it's irrelevant anyway. We've sort of nailed that place, and
I think for once all the Ilves fans will be supporting us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably right. So that would leave us in 4th place, and then the team finishing 4th goes into the final of this Euro qualifying competition. 5th will play 8th, 6th will play 7th. One-off games. The winners of those 2 games play each other in a one-off game, and then the winner of that plays the 4th place team, hopefully us, in a 2-legged game.
Do you know the dates for those?
No.
No.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I don't. I haven't looked at those. I've made some plans for the weekend of the 26th, but I think that won't
Right.
be affected by
And
this.
momentum could be a big thing there. I mean, if we go straight into 4th, if we don't get anything from the next 2 games, then we'd go for a couple of weeks break on a 3-game losing run against teams that have had to come through the playoffs and win something. So it's really important to get something from the next 2 games.
Yeah, that's true.
As difficult as they are, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and as we said, we're playing KuPS. KuPS are playing tonight against Huck at 4:00 this afternoon,
Right.
and then we've got them here on Saturday. That's a 5:00 kickoff.
They haven't been very good at OmaSp, KuPS. After what I said before the Vaasa game yesterday, I'm not saying anymore. Just saying that traditionally they haven't been very good at OmaSp.
No, I mean, yeah, there was that with most recently, the listener will remember the cup game where we were terrific, and then they got their very late equaliser and then took it into extra time and KuPS had 10 men and managed to get through 2 penalties of where they beat us on penalties. So
yeah, after 47 penalties each.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think we're due a little bit of revenge. So let's see what happens there. I have to say the team we played yesterday is pretty much our sort of strongest, most consistent team. You could jiggle around 1 or 2 players maybe, but I would have said what we started with, is probably somewhere near where we'll start on Saturday. Obviously, Stevie
We're looking a bit
and the
short
team
on
will.
depth, aren't we? Really?
Well, yeah, I worry a little bit about when we want to bring players on. Do we have someone that can really turn the game?
Yeah.
And at the moment, I think I agree. It didn't. We made 5 substitutions yesterday, and we weren't able to make that change.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something for the strategy for next year. Is to also to bring in a little bit more depth.
If we look at what Ilves did, they brought a lot of people in the summer, and we didn't.
Yeah, true that.
So I mean, hindsight's 2020, and also have we got the money to do it and all that stuff? And we were doing okay anyway. So it's just one game.
Yeah. No, we'll be there. We'll be there Saturday, and I'm sure that the rest of the Cloppit and the other supporters will be there in good voice as well. It's a day where we have to stay at home, lick our wounds, get our mojo back, and get back out there on Saturday.
Yep.
Yep.
Or go watch the women play football and have a total break.
Well, you can go and watch the women play football. I'm gonna I don't know. I might lose myself in some housework. How boring does that sound?
I've done that already.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you were up earlier than me.
Yeah.
I think, Jules, that probably just about wraps it up for this
episode.
Well,
I just want to say keep on listening to us, even if we do sound depressed and.
Yeah, that's right. And if you see Billy, tell Billy to listen too.
Come on, as if what I say is going to make a difference.
So remember, listener, to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching.
And you can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com. And you can find the links to all our content on Linktree at
Seinäjoki Football Pod.
Thank you.
We also have this WhatsApp group that we talk about to continue the conversation between podcasts. It's open to any fan of SJK. So if you want to join, email us and we'll send you a link to the group.
Until the next episode, which I hope is a bit more happier, see you at the stadium or see you online. Goodbye.
Hey,